The silent signal. In the void of space, silence is more than just the absence of sound. It's the weight of forgotten places, lost messages, and the echo of 1,000 things that should never be known. The arrival. We meet Captain Elena Drake, a no-nonsense seasoned leader of the deep space exploration vessel Echo 1. She stands in front of a large screen displaying the dilapidated station known as Artemis Outpost. The station is deserted, its lights flickering weakly, as if struggling to stay alive.
"We've been sent to retrieve the signal,"
Elena says, speaking to her crew over comms. Artemis was lost years ago. Their final transmission was a distress signal, but no one could decode it. We're the last chance. The crew assembles, a group of 6, technicians, scientists, and a security officer. They enter the airlock and step onto the empty station. As the door hisses open, an unsettling chill hits them.
"I don't like this,"
murmurs Lieutenant Roman, glancing around at the abandoned corridors.
"Something feels off."
The silence. The station is eerily quiet. Empty rooms and untouched equipment line the hallways. Dust and neglect hang in the air like a ghost. Elena leads the team down a series of corridors, following the faint signal they're tracking.
"Where is everyone?"
Asks Dr. Sori, a scientist.
"This place should have been buzzing with activity."
Suddenly, the comms crackle with static and then a whisper. Elena freezes.
"Did you hear that?"
She asks, her voice barely audible. A hiss. Then another whisper. The voice seems familiar, like someone they've known. A faint laugh, then silence again.
"It's nothing,"
Elena says, shaking her head.
"Keep moving."
The discovery. They arrive at the central control room. The console is powered, but the screen shows only static. Dr. Sori approaches and begins trying to decode the data. Her fingers hover over the console.
"The signal's embedded in the system,"
she mutters.
"It's like they were trying to send something before they were interrupted."
As Sori works, Elena surveys the room. She notices something strange on the wall, scratches, faint, irregular marks, as if someone had tried to claw their way out. A slow-growing sense of dread begins to sink in.
"We need to leave,"
Lieutenant Roman says.
"This place gives me the creeps."
Suddenly, the lights flicker out, and the station plunges into darkness. The first encounter. Elena grabs her flashlight and waves it around. The beam illuminates shadows moving in the corners of the room. Then, a sound, metal scraping against metal. Something is coming closer.
"Stay together,"
Elena orders. A low growl echoes from the hallway.
It's not human,"
Whispers Roman, his voice trembling. The growl intensifies, followed by a series of shrieks that sound almost human. Suddenly, figures emerge from the shadows, distorted, mutilated forms of the station's crew. Their bodies are twisted, eyes wide with terror, faces cracked and bleeding, their mouths agape as they screech in unnatural harmony.
"We're not alone,"
Elena whispers, pulling her crew back. The hidden truth. Sori manages to get the console to display a fragmented video feed. The camera shows the last days of Artemis Outpost. The crew is visibly terrified, huddled in a control room as strange distortions in the air begin to form, unnatural, dark shapes that flicker in and out of reality. A voice emerges from the static.
"We shouldn't have. Not the signal. They're not supposed to be. Not us."
A distorted voice says. The images flicker to life with growing intensity. The crew is shown deteriorating, slowly, almost imperceptibly, transformed into these monstrous forms.
"Is this what happened to them?"
Elena breathes. The video cuts off abruptly. A realization hits. The distress signal wasn't a cry for help. It was a warning. The signal they had been tracking. It was a trap. A lure to bring others to the outpost, to continue the cycle of transformation. The final choice. The crew is trapped. The twisted former crew members of Artemis Outpost close in from every direction. Their once human faces are twisted in agony, their movements jerky and alien. Roman pulls his weapon.
"We fight or we die here."
Elena watches the approaching horrors, then looks at her crew, their faces a mixture of fear and determination. She steps forward, drawing a pulse rifle.
"We need to destroy the signal. It's the only way to stop this."
The twisted figures surround them. Elena fires and chaos erupts. Screams mix with gunfire, but the creatures keep coming, relentless and terrifying. One by one, Elena's team falls, their bodies consumed by the grotesque forces. In a final, desperate move, Elena reaches the central console and begins to overload the system, trying to destroy the signal.
I won't let this happen again.
She grits through her teeth, her finger pressing down on the self-destruct button. Just before the explosion, a voice breaks through the static.
Too late. It's already begun.
The aftermath. The station explodes in a brilliant flash of light, but as the debris drifts away into the vastness of space, something is amiss. A faint signal pulses from the wreckage, slowly growing louder, its static forming a distorted pattern. In the emptiness of space, there is a signal that can never be turned off, a warning or perhaps an invitation, and as long as it echoes, there will always be someone foolish enough to listen. Out there in the silence of space, there is a signal, a warning or an invitation, and as long as it echoes, there will always be someone foolish enough to answer.